This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good afternoon, Tuscaloosa, Internet world, West Alabama. How we doing today on this Thursday? This is the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral and BamaCentral.com. You're checking us out on the BamaCentral YouTube channel, listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Amazon, or maybe you are on my own social media machines at Joe Gaither6 on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and any other podcast platform you can find the Joe Gaither Show. And we appreciate everybody who's tuned in and joining us on this lovely, another dreary, rainy day in Tuscaloosa and West Alabama. Hope you're staying dry, being safe on the roads. We're live in the Derry Daniel State Farm Studios, right off of McFarland Boulevard. You can call Derry Daniel for all of your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. And we are live with my man, Mason Woods. You follow Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. Mason Woods writing all things recruiting and more for the Walsh Writing Network. Mason, my camera's not quite right today, so I got to get used to looking down because I didn't quite get all my equipment. That's a failure on my part. I am already, I guess, looking forward to the Christmas season, looking forward to a couple days off. Why don't we tell the people as we open the show what we discussed before we got started? We're going to do shows Monday, Tuesday of next week. That's 23rd and 24th. We'll take 25 and 26, no podcast, and we'll bring you another podcast on the 27th of next week. So that's Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Expect 3 episodes next week. And with that, Mason Woods, how we doing?
Doing good. You mentioned the day outside that we have. It is a little dreary, but I'm glad at least that we finally just get some cold again. The last 3 or 4 days, it's been 70 degrees, and we're almost to Christmas, and I'm sick of that. So more cold weather, I'm all for it.
Very strange. Yesterday, walking out the house and thinking, what the? It's 72, 71. I
was wearing shorts and a T-shirt.
We were at the facility yesterday, and Coach DeBoer was like, oh, yeah, we were back in practice today, beautiful weather. And I'm like, man, yeah, I guess it would have been. This is perfect weather to practice in, and it's probably what they will experience in Tampa. It's probably going to be fairly nice in Tampa, probably upper 60s.
Quite the switch up from the Pacific Northwest, I imagine, this time of year. Huh?
Oh, man. But I got several topics on our sheet today, Mason, and we'll just let you decide where you want to start. Obviously, action. Alabama action last night. Alabama beating North Dakota. Did they win? 97-90.
Is Nate Oates ever going on the road again like that?
What in the world was that?
I think this maybe is where we have to start.
Sure. All right. Perfect. Just to tell the other people where else we're going to Greg Byrne going out to Twitter. Taking his
angry with you,
what's
Greg
the cup?
Byrne.
The Salvation Army Cup.
Yeah,
he's ringing the bell at the Walmart, saying donate to NIL, donate to NIL.
Spare change.
We'll talk about Malachi more, and we'll talk about the wide receiver situation, and then we'll see kind of where we're at time wise after that.
That was a tough. The Fighting Hawks came to play.
97-90, perfect. Just checking the message, excuse me. And if it weren't for Grant Nelson refusing to lose, I mean, really, you get them tied up again at 85 all, and Grant Nelson says, "All right,
what are we doing?
We're done here," and he proceeds to score the 6 points and 3 rebounds in the last 95 seconds of the game. Saying we're not going to.
He was not leaving with a loss. He was not going home embarrassed, coming back to Tuscaloosa embarrassed rather. What happened last night? Because watching the game, it
poor
was
defense.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like
did you look at at their points per possession?
No, I haven't looked at it yet.
Against it first.
Oh Lord,
North Dakota. At 90 points last night with 73 possessions. If you're really good at math, you can do it right there.
1.2.
You are really good at math. 1.233.
Don't. I'm not good at math. I got very lucky there. But that's bad. That's really bad.
That's horrific.
I saw, and this was I think the perfect.
That's eyeballs bleeding.
Yes.
Bad.
This was the perfect statement on last night's game, and it was just that I'm someone said they thought, or at least it looked like Alabama showed up strictly thinking we'll just win based on athleticism. And when that did not happen, they almost were like, "Oh my God, what do we do here? What do we do?" And then like you said, Grant Nelson stepped up. I texted you last night. I need a team of 15 Houston Millettes because that team's winning a championship. He was awesome. He was everywhere.
Flying out of bounds, coming back into bounds, and hitting one of his 3-pointers.
Oh, that one transition there where he gets the steal, makes the nice pass back in, and then just bounces out. Oh, that was awesome. I woke my wife up screaming about it. Like, it was amazing. But give me a team.
The game wasn't that late. She was already asleep.
Come on, Melissa. She goes to bed at like 8:00.
Well, that was tip-off time.
She was
Melissa,
basically getting in bed
but
by the time they started.
The Tide needed you last night.
But Houston Millette, Grant Nelson, good on you. Great performances from the two of them, I thought, pretty much top to bottom. I thought Grant played well pretty much the whole time. He was on the boards. He was all over the glass. He was making things happen defensively, forcing tough shots for guys who were just getting to the rim at will because no one on the perimeter wanted to guard anyone. But really outside of them, I think Cliff gave a good presence inside, and when he was in there, I did not love any of the guard play. I thought basically all of them played poorly.
14 turnovers on the night.
Golly.
Is that all we had?
13 of those were in the first half.
13, yeah, exactly. 13 in the first half. That's ridiculous. But you talk about Grant, 23 points. Grant and Mark both scored 23. Grant with 10 rebounds. Grant was 9 of 14 shooting. The only real misses is, he couldn't get that 3-pointer, which he wanted. He was 0-4. 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Still, you're good. Grant, A+ game. You come back there to your home state, and the post-game pictures that I saw after the game was like just Grant on the court with just mobs of people.
I saw him signing autographs and stuff. It we talked about this yesterday. It just warms your heart. Made me feel very happy. Gave me the warm and fuzzies inside just seeing him to go back home. And there was very obviously a lot of people there who were there to watch him. North Dakota had some fans there. Don't get me wrong. It was a raucous environment, more so than I really anticipated.
A raucous 3,300 people.
Yeah.
3,500 people, I think is what they said.
There was probably 20% of them or so that were there to watch Grant.
Here's the deal. This Alabama basketball team is extremely talented.
So talented.
So, you got to start right there with every conversation. But right now, I know we just watched them go 5-2 against really, really tough competition. And they're what now? 9-2 on the season. I think that was what last night's game was, the 11th game. I think they're 9-2. They're either 8 or 9-2. So, really good start. I don't have a lot of faith in where this team's going, though.
No, not at this rate. Not at this rate.
Am I just a reactionary fan, Mason? Come on, tell me. But do I need to take a step back, take the emotion out of it? Because take the emotion out of it here.
If this was after the Purdue game, I'd be telling you, yeah, you're crazy, reactionary. We're 11 games into the season. I understand this is still a long season. There's still a lot of games ahead of you.
I mean, they can beat anybody.
Yeah, they can. But would I bet any amount of money on it? Would I bet anything of significance on it? No,
$3?
Because I can't trust them. They traveled, what was it, 3,000 some odd miles to
1,300 miles.
Or sorry, 1,300. 1,300 miles to North Dakota.
In reality, it felt that way for sure.
You get on the road, you drive to, or you fly to the opposite side of the country, and you're, what was it, a 24.5-point favorite? And you really had to fight tooth and nail not to lose this game. And they still have a lot of time to prove me wrong or to show me something different. But as it stands this moment, 11 games into the season, sitting at 9-2, I still don't trust them.
Yeah. And look, last year's team, people talk. I was having this conversation with somebody last night, and they're like, "Well, last year's team," and I said, "No. I think last year's team played really, really hard all year long, but was just really deficient at the 5 spot defensively. You thought you were going to have Bediako. You didn't have Bediako. You mishmash with Pringle, with Wagyu, and with Nelson. Like, you just mishmash, and you made it work. And those guys, I think, were I don't want to say, yeah, those guys played really hard. I was going to say
Mhm.
bought in, but I don't want to say bought in because I think these guys, this year's team is bought in.
Yeah.
I definitely think they're bought in, certainly. Part of me thinks Joe, it just needs more time, just needs more time.
Mhm.
But a performance like last night is really concerning to me because you come out, you have the 13 first half turnovers, you end up you miss your first 8 3-point shots in the game. Now, second half
Started firing.
you came on, right? You came on, but you didn't keep the pedal down. You came the first 5-7 minutes of that second half were really, really nice. You ended up making 4 3-pointers in that second half right in a row. You went on an 11-0 run. I think it was a 14-2 total run. You took the lead. You jumped out by 7, 8, 9, something in that range. And okay, you're taking control. But here's the moment. We have seen this Alabama basketball team multiple times over the 11 games. Jump out on a team, take control, and then just whether it's we're turning the basketball over or we're taking silly shot selection or whatever the case may be. You let the other team back into it and you're not locked in defensively. I mean, 1.233, you can talk about traits in the Eagle staff, and goodness gracious, give
Great
him
performance.
his flowers.
Yeah.
Flowers, cookies, whatever you want to call it, credit, hats off to him. He was making shots, absolutely. But at some point,
I mean, you look
it's
at
ridiculous.
I mean, you look at what Darius Woodson gets 3 3-pointers. It's like after he makes the first one, why are we leading off of him? Why are we letting him get these shots up? Eli King hits 2. The
King hit the one to tie it at 85 to basically that was the last time they were tied. But continue. Go ahead.
No, I mean, it's just speaking to the same point that you're making. It's like I don't know how, if you're Nate Oates, you can hammer this point home. You cannot stop playing hard. Just because you're up by 10, just because you're up by 12, whatever it is, you still have to just play the exact same way. They got very lucky. North Dakota was not good enough to, and they almost were good enough, but just not good enough to outlast Alabama in this game. I think basically that's what happened here. Bama just, at the end of the day, it was big brother fighting little brother, and just the dogs won. If this had been, an SEC team, Bama's not getting out of here with a win.
I mean, how many times do you go into a game and say the other team's going to make more 3-pointers than you, Alabama? 17 to 41. I mean, they're firing it up. And look, this is analytics. This is our hope and a prayer. We're going to 77 possessions. That's almost right where you wanted to. They slowed you down a little, but you played almost to your pace that you like. You're 11 of 34. The 3-point shooting on this team has really not been what was promised so far. Now, not to say that it can't get corrected or get, adjusted.
Sure.
I think little tweaks, small tweaks with shot selection,
Certainly.
with who's taking the shot, with where we are around the arc is really crucial. How deep are we taking some of these shots?
Yeah, I think shot selection is a big one. It seems like a lot of times when Alabama needs an offensive possession to where it's, we have to have a bucket here regardless, like you got to score. It's like, okay, well, 2 seconds into the shot clock, let's jack up a 3 from 25 feet away. And that's not a great game plan. It seems like situationally the guys don't have a lot of awareness at times when they get up on these leads, and it's like, hey, they're inching back, they're going, they're on a 5-0 run, 6-0 run or something. You might need to lock in. They're just like, it's okay, we're still up by 8, and then let's go jack up some threes. It's very frustrating to watch.
I don't know what the solution is going to be or how it's going to get fixed. And really and truly, we have to go back to the very beginning of this point. This team is so dang talented. They can get away with it.
That's the worst part. It's the best and the worst part.
They can get away with, a couple possessions here,
Last
a couple
night was
possessions there.
that.
And then, oh, shoot, it's 85 all and 145 to go.
Hey, Grant, lock in, big guy.
Because I'm sitting there writing the gamer, and Eagle staff hits a 3 to make it to tie it at 74 maybe. And then Alabama kind of takes it away, kind of starts pulling away. And I'm right. Okay. Oh, because it was Millette who came down and hit a three to answer it right back. And Houston Millette answers the three. Millette scores 10 points, have in best game in Crimson uniform. I'm writing all this stuff, thinking that this is going to be the moment. At 3 minutes left in the game, yeah, I was at 4:23 now that I'm right. So if you're looking at the scoring, you can see it wherever 4:23, I think, is on the scoring tabs on the far right hand side up there. I'm right. Okay, 4:23. This is the moment. You've messed around enough. You got the big punch to get back into the game and take the lead in the second half. You're up 6 or 7 at the 15-minute mark. All right. And so you're messing around. They've tied it again at 4:23. And bam, Houston Millette says, we're taking this back over. And I'm right. And writing, okay, this is going to be the closeout, right? This is going to be the closeout moment. And basically, I'm writing broad brush strokes for the game, or I don't have to write details.
Yeah.
But this is the moment where Alabama closes out the game. But no, they move out to stretch it again. In the span of 4 minutes, they stretch it out again, and then they let them back into it again and get it tied at 85 all at 149 or 140 something. And then that's where Grant just goes on his kind of I'm not losing to these jokers. He ended up giving, I guess, the North Dakota Bison, North Dakota State Bison, because that's where he was from, their rival. So he was messing with them. But it's just so...
I don't know.
Because the evidence is clearly there in spurts that this team, when they're turned to level 8, 9, 10, you ain't got no chance.
Run anybody out of the gym.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it looks like at times this team could play an NBA team and hang with them. But that stretch that you just mentioned, the last 4 minutes of the game there, it's like at that point, Eagle staff has already destroyed you from beyond the 3-point line. Yes. So I just can't understand how you get it through. Hey, stop letting him do that. Because there was no shift. There was no change. Defensively, it was just nobody changed what they were doing on him. You put new guys out there and they just did the same thing. They switched up the rotation on who was guarding him, but they all did the same thing. They just let him get right to his right hand, 1-2 dribbles, pull up, shoot, bang. And it was so infuriating to watch. Even the announcer said it. All you got to do is take his right away, force him to go left. They just couldn't do it. I don't understand.
Brian Adams, summer 69, the defensive coach, the brand new defensive coach.
Let's pick it up.
Hey,
let's pick it up, big dog.
It was the summer of that needs to be the goal. We're holding every team to 69. Brian Adams, summer of 69. If you do that, that's fine. I know that's a bad metric because points is not really the metric. I think points per possession is a better metric. But that would be a nice goal. Hold these teams to 69. You're scoring 90. You're winning by going away comfortable. So it was frustrating, but you won.
One thing I noticed just rotationally that, we had talked about leading into that game on yesterday's show that maybe these were going to be a situation where Alabama looks to trim the rotation down going into SEC play. What did you make of Mo D only getting 8 minutes last night? Do you think that's indicative of how they want to use him? Do you think it was more just situational? They needed scorers out on the floor to keep up with what North Dakota was doing?
I think you bring up a really interesting point here. In contrasting my frustration with trying to get inside the mind of Nate Oates, I wonder how much of last night was I'm still experimenting. I'm just and you asked about Modi specifically. Yeah. Baby, we know his role.
Yeah,
when the going gets tough,
and that's exactly what happened. He was in there in the last few minutes.
He's When you end up in the SEC play, that young man's getting his 15. He's getting his 18 minutes, he's going. But right now against North Dakota, we're watching how much did Millette get? How much did
Houston Millette got 19.
Exactly. These guys are
and used every one of them.
Well, these guys are under the microscope, and good for you, Millette. So we're looking at Millette with 19. We're looking at Youngblood with 19 as well.
I know we don't love plus minus, but Houston Millette was plus 18. That's pretty sweet.
I definitely don't love plus minus, but that's a nice number. But I think that's what it was. And so balance. go back to the kind of crux. Oh, how we're
Mhm.
feeling with take the emotion out of it. Was NATO? It's just
Still messing around a little bit.
I'm trying to find who my guys are, what their roles are, who can do what. I'm trying to test them in certain situations.
Yeah.
I lean that way, and maybe that's crimson colored glasses. You can say that for sure. But I try to balance my, man, last night really didn't go so
Yeah.
well with, I wonder what, you know, you look at the NATO's computers, the analytics, what the information
Yeah.
machine just took in, that 40 minutes of information. I wonder what those data points go into his charts, and he's reading them, and he's like, all right, well, this guy's out and this guy's in.
No, I think that's valid. I do, because I mean, just looking at the pure numbers and how the minutes got split, like it was a noticeable different split than they've had in games previously. We just talked about Houston Millette getting more minutes. Chris Youngblood got almost 20 minutes. So there's probably something to that.
I think you might see that in the next two games as well. And so I don't think Coach Oates gives a darn what the spread is. And so he's just trying. We talked about it yesterday. He's looking at that SEC going, oh, bleep. I got to figure, like, oh, my gosh. Like, what are we going to do? Not to say that he's scared. Not that at all. But to say that, oh, this is going to be a big challenge.
No, yeah. I can definitely see that. And that's a good place to be. I think that's probably a good route to take with these games, because these are the opportunities where these are the times where we have those opportunities against teams like North Dakota, Kent State, and whoever else they have coming in.
Well, let's wrap it up with Let me throw this at you while it texts our team, because I got to figure out what time our football availability is today. Going to North Dakota, 1,300 miles.
Yeah.
All right. The on-court product really not great.
Sure.
You got the win. Some guys had nice games, obviously 23 and 23 from Mark and from Grant. Two things I want to ask you about while I send this text message. One, did you see Mark Sears buying everybody all the players
I heard
white puffer jackets? NATO is saying, oh, he didn't buy the coaches white puffer jackets. Use your own NIL
I think
money,
you're okay,
Nate. So Mark going out buying everybody heavy duty jackets for the cold. And secondly, the concept. I know the product wasn't great, but you go to North Dakota to honor a player who transferred, who believed in your program and came back a second year. The concept of Oates doing this, we saw him. Look, last year's game against Purdue in Canada, in Toronto, was supposed to be for you, Charles Bediako, but it
didn't quite work out that way.
You moved on, and that's okay. We played the game anyways because it was on the schedule. But you played North Dakota. You don't know who's really going to be on the fold next season, because really basketball is turning into a year-to-year thing.
It's such a moving.
What do you think about Coach Oates trying to adopt this? Maybe Patrick Murphy-esque, Dean Smith-esque. Because, look, Coach Murphy's been doing it for the Alabama softball program ever since I can remember. Now, maybe that's been a new thing, but last 5-7 years, he's always been trying to take his team close to his senior's hometown. Well, obviously, you can't get it perfect.
Yeah.
But close.
I love it. I think it's, I said this on yesterday's show. I think it is not only... It rewards the guys who have stuck around and been with your team. Grant Nelson being one who had the opportunity last year in many people's eyes to maybe go and pursue the NBA, but he chose to come back for another year and be a pillar on this team, really a cornerstone of the team. So I think it's awesome to reward your guys like that. It incentivizes guys to play hard, to stick around, and I think it also is a big recruiting chip potentially for guys who are maybe spread out across the country, maybe even like a Bediako, a guy who is up in Canada, right along the border there, players like that. I think it just, if that is a concern with anyone like that, this indicates to them that, hey, you're going to at least have the opportunity to go play back home in front of your folks. And I think it's awesome. I'm sure that the only reasoning, was not, well, we gotta help Grant out. I'm sure there was a little bit of, okay, other guys will see this and they'll think it's cool. But either way, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, Alabama, if you are, look, Mr. Murphy is going out social media sporadically, going hashtag new, this, that, and the other. If you are one of the box brands, college basketball, you can play coast to coast anywhere in the world, right? And so I love this. And a lot of people last night on the social media machine, as the game on the court was, going kind of frustratingly, were saying, "We'll never do this again. We should never do this again."
Mhm.
Nate Oates, why are we doing this? We'll never do this again. And that much frustration with the experimentation, but then put over the top of that this is just a recruiting ploy.
Yeah.
This is just a recruiting ploy. Like literally, that's the umbrella that all this falls under. I think that, look, Coach Oates is going to see the result and going to say, wow, maybe we could have played better and maybe, we could have won by 50 and that would have made us feel good, this, that, and the other. But we'll definitely do this again for the next play. Like, you played up in Huntsville for Mark for the preseason, and you played in Huntsville, fairly often for different guys. You played all throughout the state,
256.
fairly often for different players. I love it. I think you're going to continue to do
I
it.
really think it's awesome. Virtually every decision that any coach makes, you can probably tie it back to recruiting in some way or another. And this is just another thing where, like you said, fans, if you're upset about the way last night's game went, just step back and look at it big picture and think about all the future national recruits that could have seen this, the ones from Washington or from California, New York area, wherever they are. They might be looking at the Alabama Crimson Tide a little bit differently now.
All right, so you go into the weekend playing Kent State on the Sunday at noon, I saw. Gross. I'm going to have to get out of church.
Going head-to-head with the NFL.
I don't care about that, but I got to get out of church early. Nate, can we make it 1?
Yeah, 1 would have been better.
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, Nate. I don't give a darn about the NFL.
It gives me an excuse to not watch the Titans, so that'll be nice.
Exactly. But maybe like 12:45.
Yeah, I don't love that noon. I can't imagine the players are huge fans of it either. Just right in the middle of the day there, and anybody that's like trying to do something on their Sunday, it's kind of like, well, Bama game's right there, smack dab in the middle, so got to plan around that. It's
early church and then over to Coleman. That's what that's what's going to end up being. Early church and then over to Coleman on Sunday, and the guys are off a little bit, about 5 or 7 days until after Christmas. Let me get the exact date of that game because I get all my dates run together. Not Kent State, a little further. South Dakota State is the 29th, the following Sunday. So it's a full 7 days. Oh, Coach, perfect. 2 p.m. Sunday, the following Sunday. We love that. You get your full day at Sunday church, get your lunch with your friends and family, and then over to Coleman to cheer on the Tide, and then you're home at 4:30, 5 o'clock for your evening time. That's perfect. So that's your next 2 non-conference games, and that will wrap up your non-conference schedule. Mason Woods, as we stare at the last 2 games, real quick 30-second letter grade on the Crimson Tide's non-conference action.
A-.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. You got good results. You've had a couple of lessons in there.
Sure.
I mean, Bama, you've been torn up by some guards this year.
Yeah.
You've been torn up by some guard play. Ron Harper's son? What's his kid?
Dylan Harper.
Dylan Harper tore your butt up. Golly.
Him and
Eagle Staff
Ace,
tore your butt up
what's his
last
name,
night.
too?
Ace Bailey tore your butt up from Rutgers. So we're gonna have to get after some of these score first guards.
I think gotta work on that perimeter defense a bit. Maybe this is a problem dating back to last season that is still needing to be addressed. But I mean,
it's not because Mark's little, is it?
Certainly doesn't help.
No, that's when he went to the NBA and said they said, "Oh, you got to work on your defense," and he said, "Can I grow 3 inches?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does not help. As unfortunate as it is, Mark Sears is always going to be physically limited guarding around the perimeter just due to his size. You look at Laren Philon at 6'3", 6'4", and that's awesome. That's amazing, and we love it. And you are very valuable to this team from that standpoint.
Extremely.
And his defense has improved remarkably.
It has.
It's just he's still physically limited, and that's not any fault of his own. It's just the way it is.
All right, dealer's choice, Mason Woods. I'm about to hit you with some Purple Turtle Roofing. You can decide if we're talking about Greg Byrne, or if we're talking about Malachi Moore, or if we're talking about wide receivers next. So let's tell our friends about Purple Turtle Roofing. They're the most reliable residential roof replacement company in Alabama and Mississippi. Whether it's addressing leaks, storm damage, or general wear and tear, Purple Turtle Roofing is going to be there to deliver exceptional roof repair for your property. They're the leading expert in local residential roofing solutions, specializing in providing unparalleled service and quality craftsmanship for all your roof replacement needs. Call Dustin Foley and his team today at 877-PT-ROOF-5 for your free roof inspection. That's 877-787-6635 to schedule your appointment, and one of their qualified employees will come check out your roof for free and make sure you're prepared for any of life's storms. You can check them out online today at roofturtle.com. Look, I know it's the holiday season, but the weather doesn't take any time off. Make sure you're prepared. Call Roof Turtle today, or Purple Turtle Roofing at 877-787-6635.
Mr. Greg Byrne.
Oh, gosh.
Mr. Greg Byrne, who makes over $2 million a year, wants you, Alabama fans, to foot the bill for this NIL fund, to foot the bill for the football team that you like to watch on Saturdays, that you already have to pay for cable packages to watch, that you already have to pay for exorbitant ticket prices to go see on Saturdays, that you already have to pay for ridiculous merchandise prices for $40 t-shirts, $80, $100 polos. Greg Byrne, he wants you to foot the bill for his football team. This is gross. This is nasty. This is icky, and I hate every bit of it.
Mason,
How much are you giving, Greg?
I'm offended. And look, here's the deal. Once again, I'm balancing two different thoughts in my brain because I genuinely like Greg Byrne.
I think he's great at his job.
Yeah, I genuinely think he's really, really great at his job.
Yes, one of, if not the best in the country.
Yeah, you look at his coaching hires. I have loved his track record. I have loved what he has done as far as athlete first on campus. You know, I have loved what he has done. People can complain about, hey, he's gone too corporate. I don't care. He has made Alabama. He has protected Alabama's status as a big brand.
Certainly,
he has done things to continue to protect that status, and I think that you have to be proactive in that continually.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, what do you end up as, like USC? like seriously, you have to continue to do things. People talk about, he's done this and done that. It's just really icky because, look, I know what I make, and I like what I make money-wise. It's fine. It's great. I could always use more money, but I know how much the price of eggs are. And I know a lot of our listeners and a lot of our viewers know exactly what's in their paycheck and know exactly what their bills are running. They are looking at their bank account, their Wells Fargo, their whatever their app is, and they're X dollars out for this, X dollars out for that, X dollars. Like, it's a monthly thing. Yep. It's a weekly thing. Some of us, it's a daily thing. We're watching the money go in and out. And, like, I'm not sitting here pocket watching anybody, but that's a really sensitive subject. And this is $1 billion business. I don't have any issue with the Alabama being an entity.
No. And if you want to donate, go right ahead. Be my guest. More power to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. And I don't really have any issue with you advertising for people to join Yay Alabama. Great. Put up the billboard,
whatever.
Run the commercial, put it on Twitter, tell everybody why they should. Great. But this, it's what? How many? Okay, let's look at it. Actually, it's just Alabama fans. Over the past few years, there have been drastic changes in college athletics. We have been careful during this transactional period to protect our position at the top of college athletics, while being mindful to listen, engage, and learn from our generous supporters, proud alumni, and unrivaled fans to make sure that we protect our great tradition here at Alabama. But there's time for talk and there's time for action. Now is the time for action. Although we have been competitive from an NIL standpoint, our competition has us in their sights and are actively trying to surge ahead with NIL. You have heard examples of other teams using promises of $1 million paydays to lure away our players or convince them not to come to Alabama. It's time for Bama Nation to fight back. Under the new model of college athletics, which is the result of the antitrust lawsuit against the NCAA, a university can succeed if their fans purchase authentic NIL from student athletes. The good news is when Yay Alabama was created last year, the focus was on providing our fans with a legitimate product rather than booster inducements. Yay Alabama delivers exclusive content and access you cannot get anywhere else. We also have a plan to grow Yay Alabama's offerings with more videos, features, and news in 2025. So please click the link and subscribe to Yay Alabama. A subscription to Yay Alabama isn't about, it's about the future. It's about our roster retention for future seasons, keeping our legends in crimson. It's about attracting and developing the best recruits in the country to represent the Script A. You being part of that team has never been more important. At Alabama, we've not measured ourselves against our competition. We are the standard. And that measurement is against the mirror, against a rich and proud history. But it's impossible to ignore what is taking place in college athletics. Hungry fan bases are acting decisively to give their respective programs a competitive advantage. We must respond. We are Alabama. Join Yay Alabama today.
Wah, 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 wah. That's all I hear. It's the Charlie Brown adults talking.
Did that last paragraph not give you chills?
No. Greg, if you felt that way, I don't see you in the stands I see you in your box up there with your air conditioning.
You're not looking then.
I see you maybe down on the sideline with your special pass that gives you access to everywhere.
In Wisconsin, shaking hands with fans, walking around the stadium saying thanks for being here.
Mm-hmm.
He's walking up and down up the upper decks before.
Mm-mm. I hate this.
He's outside helping the people get into when they put in the new security, 2-3 years ago. He's out there directing people traffic where to go. When they cut back staff at COVID, he's helping take tickets.
Did he cut back his salary at all?
Well, I don't know about that, maybe, but I don't know about that, so I can't say yes or no.
It's just gross. It is gross.
Here's my issue.
You're trying to guilt trip fans into thinking that everyone else is coming to get them. Every other fan base that is reacting the same way here. Like Brian Kelly tried to do this to LSU fans. LSU fans reacted the same way. This is gross. I don't like this. Out of that. It's not this like concerted effort from every other college football team to come after Alabama, like he's trying to paint it as, to hype you up into paying for something where, let's be honest, you don't get anything.
It's Dave Portnoy and his buddies just scheming. We're gonna have fun. We want to waste money in college athletics.
What do you get with a Yay Alabama subscription? Because I have seen,
you get great exclusive content.
Do you? Do you get great exclusive content?
I don't know because I haven't looked because I don't know. I'm not behind the paywall.
I'm not behind the paywall either, but the content that is available is extremely limited. I mean, in just December they've posted 2 stories.
Seriously.
We have one from National Signing Day, and then we have Jalen Mbakwe explaining why he returned to Alabama.
Oh, so I'm unaware of this because I haven't looked behind the paywall. They don't do.
There's nothing. You get nothing.
We had Jay McPhillips on roughly 13, 14 months ago, a little over a year, right? Your subscription got you a small, like they sent you a little bit of merchandise.
Sure.
They sent you like a car tag.
Yeah, I think you get a little package
right,
kind of deal.
Little merchandise, and you get behind the paywall, which gives you, I guess, access to interviews and access to videos and.
This is where the New Wave podcast should be.
That's exactly right.
Like that's the kind of content you should be providing for people. Not
you shouldn't be putting that on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just. I'm scrolling through December. The only things that they have posted are pre-written profiles for the guys that signed.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's just all you have are things that you can get everywhere else. Profiles about the guys that signed Alabama. There's no indication that there's any kind of exclusive quotes content in there whatsoever. And then you get, which sure, this is an exclusive piece of material, but I don't know what Jalen Mbakwe said. I doubt it was really anything that juicy or interesting.
I just love Alabama.
So it's just like you're asking people to pay money that they legitimately, a lot of times, hardly can afford to like just shell out on a monthly basis. I mean, there are a large portion of Alabama fans who are living paycheck to paycheck, who are struggling to pay their bills, who are just happy to watch the Tide on the TV on Saturday.
Roll Tide!
And you are asking them to shell out their money for this that they don't get anything in return. It's just gross. It's sad. It's ugly. I hate it. It's really, really icky. It's very gross that this is what this has turned into. If and if I'm wrong, someone please tell me, tell us of all the exclusive content, all the cool things you get with Yay Alabama if you're a subscriber that maybe I just don't know about. But I can't see anything on their Twitter page that leads me to believe this is worth the subscription price.
You get early access to tickets, which has got a lot of meet and greets. To
tickets that you still have to pay ridiculous amounts of money for.
Yeah, I think so. They're I think if you're into that sort of thing, it looks like a reasonably priced ticket, like an $80 lunch or whatever, to meet somebody. I just really don't like that this is the direction that college athletics has gone. And the reason that this is the way that it's gone is because the universities don't really want to take ownership for these players, for these athletes, and turn them into employees. And really, I don't think the kids want that either. I think the kids like the kind of free agent status because they can still go school to school.
I have said it countless times. If I was a top tier college athlete, I would be in the transfer portal every year. Who wants to pay me the most money?
Leveraging my own school.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I know I had 150 carries for 500, 700 yards.
You gonna offer me, 600,000? All right, I'll go. I mean, I would be every year. Final game of regular season. Hey, coach, name's in the portal. See ya.
I'd be like, bye, Billy.
Later. Ole Miss is offering me a 7-figure deal.
I'd say good luck on the lane.
I'm transferring to the SIP.
Hashtag Caleb Odom. Hashtag transfer to the SIP.
Man, oh man.
Did you see that?
Yep.
Caleb Odom. He's gonna be right back in that Alabama. Well, you don't play him this year.
Damani Jackson gonna have that. Oh well, yeah, they don't.
2 years from now, when the schedule.
So Dijon Lee gonna have that boy locked up.
Dijon Lee versus junior Caleb Odom. Sophomore Dijon Lee versus junior Caleb Odom.
Lock him up.
Lane Train's going to love him. He's going to try to do all kinds of gadget stuff with him. It's going to be like, I got this 6'8" receiver. Oh man, we got how many different ways can I throw a jump ball?
Man, oh man. Good for you, Caleb Odom. I'm happy that you got what you sought out in the transfer portal.
Yeah, great. Good for you. But I'm just disgusted that this
is
how college athletics has turned, because
I've got it right. I mean, pulled up here. You mentioned now, $1 billion organization, Alabama, the college athletic program, $978 million is how much it's worth. And we're sitting here begging.
That's football only, or the whole athletic?
This
department?
is a top 10 most valuable athletic program, so I think that's all encompassing.
The whole department.
But it's just like. That's $1 billion. That is more money.
But the issue is
that's more money than this fan base has combined.
What they will sell you is they're going to take that $900-something million and barely break even with it is what they're going to sell you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, holy moly! Like, I am not an accountant, but and maybe things just cost that much.
Maybe.
But my goodness, that just seems absurd. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it. At some point.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm grossed out. I really am. There's not really a better way for me to put it. I am grossed out that this is what it has come to. Greg Byrne, I don't like that you did this. This is probably the first thing you've done that I really just objectively really don't like.
Didn't love him campaigning for the Tide either, but that was okay.
Yeah,
that was the landscape. But this is also the landscape of college athletics. A lot of athletic directors are doing this. A lot of coaches are doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just
spare change.
Yeah.
Spare change. They're holding out their little cup, sitting in their cardboard box.
Wasn't that South Park?
Oh, poor me.
Spare change. Wasn't that a South Park? Change.
Poor me.
I'm
not even worth $1 billion.
They get kicked out of their houses in that homeless episode. Spare change. It was like homelessness was the zombie.
That's such a good show.
Oh no, he's broke too. Spare change. Oh, you
Man,
want to talk about
man.
positive things?
Yes. Let's move to the positive.
A positive change from the NCAA? Did you see Diego Pavia
Is
won
this a
his
positive
lawsuit?
change?
Well, if you are a big box brand, it's a positive change.
Sure. Yeah.
If you are a fan of Justin Jefferson returning to the Crimson Tide, maybe to play linebacker for another year, it's a positive change. Apparently, the vague, broad brushstrokes that I saw, Diego Pavia sues the NCAA for extra eligibility, saying his time in JUCO did not count, and they say, okay, it does not count. So he's now got 2 years of eligibility.
And I believe the crux of the argument was that they violated antitrust laws by essentially his lawyers argued that, well, he was in JUCO, he couldn't make NIL. So now by telling him he has to leave college, you're violating his ability to make money. And the judge agreed. That's where we are. It is ridiculous.
That's insane.
It is absolutely ridiculous.
So I can go to JUCO for how many years?
4 years if you want to.
Let's just make this hit home for us. Stephen Mbua becomes Alabama signee in this 25 class. He was originally a signee in the 24 class.
Yep.
Did not have come from Canada. Did not have the right high school English or history credit, something of the sort. Also said, hey, I wanted to take kind of a gap year to make sure I can learn English very well because he's French Canadian, speaking French. He can go to wherever he went, community college in Mississippi. He went 1 year, and now he's coming to Alabama. Great. That 1 year is basically freebie. He's now got 5 years, right?
Yeah.
He's now got 5 years to be at Alabama. He can be in college for 6 years, but he could have if he just said, hey, I don't like the way the Alabama defensive line room's stacking up yet. I'm going to keep playing JUCO. I'm going to keep exercising. I'm going to keep learning my English, making sure I'm up on, Americanisms for 2 years. JUCO's only 2 years, right?
I think so, yeah.
Right, I believe so too. Go get a job, Diego Pavia. You beat Alabama's tail, great for you. You beat Auburn's butt twice, great for you.
Sure.
You were
Awesome.
fun college story.
I'll remember you for a few years.
It just seems weird.
It is weird.
But I guess good for them and good if you're a big box brand because if you're Alabama, you can say, oh, Justin Jefferson, you now have 2 more years eligibility.
Yeah.
Oh, Stephen Mbua, you have an extra year of eligibility. I know they just got, was it am I making that up? Devondre Campbell? Did I just make that up? Defensive lineman
that sounds right.
Defensive lineman that let's see, my guy right
Wait, no,
there.
Devondre Campbell. That was the guy that quit on the Niners the other day.
Yes, I did just make that up. Who was the other Cavante Henry? Those aren't the same names.
Devondre.
Those aren't the same names at all.
No, but I understand the confusion.
Cavante Henry, junior college transfer, bandit.
Similar vowel structure,
maybe. So now those years that he played at JUCO are just like boom,
he didn't even do it.
Red shirt years supposedly.
I don't get it. We are going to have 25, 26, 27-year-olds playing college football. Go get a job.
That's going to be the trick. Like, it's going to turn into college basketball. Would you rather get the 5-star freshman or would you rather get the 4th year transfer from JUCO?
Man. Ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. All right. We only have a few more topics left to hit on this Wednesday. We're live in the Derek Daniels Thursday. We're live in the Derek Daniels State Farm studio, right off of McFarland Boulevard. Red, Reese, and Victoria are upstairs right now waiting to take your call at 205-758-3391 for all your insurance needs, home, life, auto insurance. You need a quick auto insurance quote. You're buying a car, you're selling a car, you're thinking about buying or selling a car. They can run you a quote to let you know what that insurance is going to run you. A lot of people think about the car payment, don't think about the insurance part. They can help you out at 205-758-3391. Derek Daniel, like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel and and State Farm is there. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. More bad news for the Crimson Tide. Malachi Moore undergoes an undisclosed surgery yesterday. Coach Kalen DeBoer saying that he has been dealing with his injury long-term, wanted to fight through it a little bit longer to play in the bowl game, just couldn't make it happen, just kind of stacked up on him. Yeah. Malachi Moore, his 5-year career with the Crimson Tide is over.
It's unfortunate that I had to end that way. You know, you always hate to see somebody have to go out with injury like that. And you know, obviously, selfishly, I wanted to see him get his last ride in crimson in the bowl game, and I'm sure he wanted that as well. So I hate that for him. But you know, it gives him the opportunity to maybe turn his attentions to the NFL once he gets out of this surgery and can just really hardcore focus on that maybe and have a successful career there.
Oh yeah, I mean Malachi Moore's going to go down as one of the favorites.
Yeah.
Maybe not one of the best ever in the Saban era / 1 year after, but definitely one of the favorites. 1,000% for his attitude with the transfer portal. Oh, if they're not wearing crimson, you know, that sort of thing. Being here for 5 years, going 5-0 against Auburn, national champion, 2 or 3 SEC titles.
Mm-hmm.
So
great career.
Awesome job, great career. Gonna see a little more Xavier Mincy playing safety.
That'll be fun.
In his absence. Bray Hubbard, Xavier Mincy, Red Morgan. Let's see. Who am I missing anybody? Let me make sure I'm not missing anybody. Yeah, King Mack, Red Morgan, Zay Mincy, Bray Hubbard, Owen, Dre Kirk Jr., and Cam Howard. All going to be kind of mishmashing together to replace Malachi Moore. Not much else on that. Just a kind of a note. Just want to make sure that everybody realized that he, I think Coach nearly said something like opt out. It was just like, but really worded it well. It's like he wanted to play, yada yada yada. Tried to play, injured for a long time. He tried to make it very clear that like
he was fighting through it,
right? That he's been fighting through it for a long while. So everybody who's been, you know, happy with Malachi's play this year, just realize I guess he's been dealing with an injury.
Yeah, be even happier.
The last topic for us, Mason, is going to be on wide receiver play. Oh, I got you. Last topic is going to be on wide receiver play. You have 4 wide receivers healthy, was confirmed yesterday from Nick Sheridan. Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, Rico Scott, and Jaron Hamilton.
I think people are going to immediately overreact to this and kind of be concerned about it, but it's okay. They really don't need all of them.
And Jalen Mbakwe.
You get an extra one with Jalen Mbakwe. This offense really only went through 2 receivers all year anyway.
All the tight ends are still available.
Yeah, I think it's going to be A-okay. I don't think they really have much to worry about in the depth department.
Jam Miller's still taking checkdowns out of the backfield.
I think you're all right. Bama fans, don't read this headline and start panicking.
Yeah, it'll be okay. The bowl game will come.
Plus, it's a bowl game. It is a bowl game.
It's about developing these fellows anyways. So if Jeremy Bernard just wanted to, look, you are going to need him next year for sure. But if he wanted to take the day off and just run Rico Scott's legs off.
That's awesome.
Rico, go get your routes up, buddy. You know, because you might
show us something.
You might need Rico next year.
I think you're going to.
Jaron, you know, get your routes up next year. We know what Ryan Williams could do. Let's have a little exhibition and have a little fun.
Yeah. So nothing to worry about.
The bowl game. All right,
it will be fun.
We're getting out of here for the day. I'm going over to the Mount Moore Athletic Facility. I think today is assistant coaches.
Ooh.
We talked to Womack, Sheridan, and DeBoer yesterday. We did players last Thursday. So I'm assuming today's going to be assistant coaches. Get a little Freddie Roach action. Ask Coach Roach how he's doing. What do you think about the transfer portal? What do you think about Kelby Collins? I wrote about Kelby Collins yesterday. Their comments on Kelby Collins. And so we will be back to, oh my gosh. Mason, tomorrow we're predicting playoff games.
What?
We haven't even talked about the playoffs, but it is coming this weekend.
That'll be a fun show.
We'll predict the playoffs tomorrow, and we'll get out of here leaving you with that. All right, here on BamaCentral and BamaCentral